Sun came up this morning. New York had its first two murders of 2025. The first one happened shortly after 4 this morning when a man was slashed in the neck. This happened outside a deli at West 137th Street and Lenox Avenue in Harlem. A suspect turned himself into police at the 26th precinct a short time later. No word on what prompted the attack. And about an hour after that incident, a gunman opened fire on a group of people in the Bronx. Citizen app video shows the scene at East 170th Street and Teller Avenue in Claremont. Police say 46-year-old Mario Fowler was shot in both legs and he died. A 23-year-old man was grazed in the face. He is in stable condition. Eyewitnesses say the gunman was in all black with a ski mask.
New video tonight of a violent altercation in East Harlem that left a 17-year-old dead and a 62-year-old facing murder charges. Christy Kalishian hears from witnesses.
Two young men, a 22-year-old and 17-year-old, walk into K Street Food on 2nd Ave just after 6 Friday night, along with another man they bump into at the door.
Two young guys came in here. He already upset, very upset.
Moon Shin owns K Street Food. She asked that we not show her face. She says the man the two young men bumped into was placing a food order while the two young men stood behind, making comments.
He got very upset, and he said, pissing me off, but two young guys pushing it everywhere, here, there.
What started in the restaurant spilled out onto the sidewalk. We're pausing right here when that man, who police identify as 62-year-old Saul Sanchez, is seen stabbing the 17-year-old in the torso. The teen's 22-year-old friend, who police said was stabbed in the left arm, came to his defense, throwing a chair at Sanchez.
I never see people dying in front of my face.
Police say that 17-year-old, who was identified as Carlos Rivas, was taken to Harlem Hospital, where he later died. 62-year-old Sanchez, who police say was cut in the forehead, left after the fight, then returned to the scene, spoke to cops, and was taken into custody. Sanchez was later charged with second-degree murder and assault and fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon.
Can't really argue with people out here because you never know.
I'm nervous and I'm scary. When he heard, I see his mother. I was just thinking his mother. Yeah, because I'm a mother too, so.
Police say it still isn't clear what exactly sparked the fight. In East
Gun insanity in New York City. This time, 6 people shot in the Bronx, including a mother, used as a shield by one of the men getting targeted.
Tonight, the search is on for 2 gunmen. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon with the latest from Williamsbridge.
We had a brazen and heartless attack by 2 shooters that opened fire in the middle of the street and into a crowded convenience store, striking 6 people.
That convenience store is littered with shattered glass from the hail of bullets just before 5 in the afternoon.
A lot of people was running. This strip was very crowded, so you wouldn't know who did it.
Beverly Taylor couldn't see them, but heard it.
10 to 15 shots I heard, and I just dropped to the ground.
And saw someone who was struck.
She was a young girl.
A 12-year-old girl shot in the leg. Police say her 40-year-old mother was shot in the abdomen when 2 people the shooters were aiming for used her as a shield.
If you can imagine, mom and daughter are up against a counter and the 2 intended targets come in and bump into them and then turn the mother around as they're being shot at.
Whoever shot these people, they had no regards for human life.
Jamal Wilson says he was only 30 seconds away from being an innocent victim himself.
It put fear in us, because now we can't really come outside. We don't know. I do deliveries, so I don't know if it's safe for me to do a delivery tomorrow.
Neighbors tonight are rattled by that disregard for life.
You can't walk your own streets without getting shot. Something's wrong with that.
If anyone on White Plains Road, shopping, walking around, saw anything, please call us at 1-800-577-TIPS.
Police and a woman sitting inside a vehicle in Philadelphia's Mantua section were shot and killed. This morning, police are searching for 2 gunmen.
Investigators say the suspects fired nearly 20 shots into both sides of the SUV around 10 o'clock last night. Action News reporter Corey Davis is live at Philadelphia Police Headquarters with the latest on this investigation. Corey.
Aliana and Maggie, good morning. So in a new update from police, not long ago this morning, we're finding out the names of the victims. We're being told that the male victim was 53-year-old Kimo Vaughn of Upper Darby, and the female was 28-year-old Tahira Wynn of Tobyhanna Township in the Poconos. a dozen bullet holes in the front passenger side window and door of this SUV.
So we know at least 18 shots were fired.
The driver's side was also shot several times.
So it appears that it was two shooters approached this vehicle and fired shots into both sides of the vehicle.
Police say the SUV was parked with the engine running when the shooting happened at around 10 o'clock last night on Union Street near the intersection of Folsom Street in the city's Mantua section. Investigators say the man in the driver's seat and the female passenger died at the scene. Homicide detectives currently have crucial video evidence showing the moment that led up to the shooting.
We have police real-time crime cameras just north of the location of the shooting, and it did record what appeared to be two males exiting a vacant lot between houses on the 700 block of Union and approached the vehicle and firing multiple shots.
And investigators tell us those two male suspects left the area through that same vacant lot where they initially approached the SUV. When it comes to the victims, they're telling us that they don't know how the victims are connected. They're still trying to get to the, trying to figure that out. And they also don't know what they were doing there. In the meantime, investigators trying to find those two shooters. Reporting live here at
a man is in critical condition tonight after police say he was pushed onto the subway tracks as a train was pulling in. And Dave Carlin is live in Chelsea with that heart-stopping video. And we should warn our viewers, it is hard to watch. Dave?
Sorry. We do need to give you that warning because it is video that is causing people to shudder. We had horror inside this station with a push that was timed just as a train was pulling in.
CBS News New York obtained this disturbing surveillance video showing a victim described by police as 45 years old standing on the platform when a man in a blue hooded jacket comes in from the left side of the screen, then out of view for a moment, and then back from the right side of the screen. With no apparent warning, he pushes the man just as the train pulls in. We spoke to a woman who says she saw everything, talking to us exclusively on the condition we not show her face.
It was pretty horrible. I'm okay now.
Was he pushed right in front of a moving train?
Right at the last second, right in front of the train. Just shoved right in front of the train.
Police say they caught a man they are calling a person of interest.
The older man who was pushed just walked slowly right onto the platform, perfect timing. The other man who pushed him was just walking slowly towards him and shoved him the last second.
And then did you see the rescue of getting him out of there?
I did not. I came up to the street, called 911.
The downtown side of the 18th Street subway station at 7th Avenue was closed. So the train could be kept at the station so investigators could interview the train operator.
Things seem to have gotten a lot worse, and I'm just so sad that it happened today. It breaks my heart.
Escambia deputies have made an arrest after a murder last night. They have charged Charles Carson Dowdy with the second-degree murder of his girlfriend. Now, family members have identified the victim as 30-year-old Star Tucker.
And Tucker's family spoke with WEAR's Haley Samples just a few hours ago. Haley, they shared with you just who Star Tucker was.
Bob Sue, her sister tells me in just a matter of hours, her worst nightmare became her reality.
I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't have all the right words. I'm tired, I haven't slept, I hardly eat, I'm just exhausted. I feel like I'm in a nightmare.
That's Tariah Tucker. She's the younger sister of Star Tucker. Her family says the 30-year-old was an active member of the Air Force and a Florida A&M alum. They say she also just started a relationship with Charles Carson Dowdy.
He seemed sweet, he seemed innocent, he seemed charming.
Thursday night, deputies were called to the parking lot of this apartment complex on Baldridge Drive. Sheriff Chip Simmons says they were responding to a call for shots fired and found Tucker in the parking lot.
The investigation revealed that the victim's boyfriend had fired about 15 to 16 shots and struck her 7 times at least, and then used her car to drive over her.
Tucker later died at the hospital. Her family later learning Carson Dowdy was arrested and charged in the crime.
He didn't give off he could do something like this. But you never know until it's too late. I don't understand why he did what he did, because he could have just left. I just want justice as of now, and I won't stop until I get it.
Deputies say Charles Dowdy was arrested and booked into jail in Baldwin County, Alabama. They say he was in Tucker's car and had stopped after getting a flat tire. Tucker's family still in shock, wanting to know why.
We're going to continue to gather evidence, even though he's already in jail. And we're already working with the state attorney's office on prosecution. We're going to continue to build the case even and make it even stronger so that he will remain in jail.
Looking at Carson Dowdy's criminal history, he was arrested in Mobile in 2023 as a fugitive wanted for assault in Texas. In the studio, I'm Haley Samples.
Mark Jones Jr., the children's father, is expected in court later this afternoon for a bail review hearing. He is facing, again, multiple charges, including murder and attempted murder. You guys may remember the scary details of this story we first brought to you earlier this week. Jones' court hearing was postponed on Monday because he was hospitalized after shooting himself in the head during the incident. According to charging documents, the children's mother promised Marcel was sleeping in her room with her 2 kids while the father slept in another room. Police say around 6 in the morning, he came into the room and began arguing. The 4-year-old did ask him to leave, and this is when police say Jones pulled out a backpack from the closet, removed and loaded a handgun, then shot at Marcel and the children. The 1-year-old daughter was shot in the shoulder, and Jacoby, the 4-year-old, was shot in the head and later died at the hospital. Police later found a firearm registered to the suspect at the scene. WJZ investigator Mike Helgren did speak with the child's mother on Monday, who allowed us to share a video she made after the shooting. Her message: she wants to protect other women from domestic violence.
Thank you for giving me the strength to get on here. Lord, please protect all these babies out here. If you're going through a domestic situation and you feel like you can't leave because that's the only person you got or whatever, leave before you end up like mine.
Marcel says she has received so much support from a lot of people from around the Baltimore region, and she wants you guys, the public, to attend her 4-year-old's funeral on January 10th at March Funeral Home over in Randallstown. There are a number of resources available if you are facing a domestic violence situation, including the number 988. Reporting on your corner in Towson, I'm Janae Reese for CBS News Baltimore.
Breaking right now at 6, a 16-year-old girl is one of 2 people shot to death in Orange County. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Ashley Rope. Family members tell WRAL Zakara Wardlow was found dead this morning on Cardinal Drive in Hillsborough near I-85. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan joining us now live there. Chelsea, you spoke with the family about who Wardlow was.
Yeah, so they tell me that Zakira had a curfew of 11 o'clock last night. She just went. Let's just pause here for a second and show you something that just unfolded a few minutes ago before we get to memories of Zakira. This is the car that a tow truck just pulled out nearly seconds before we came on air. This is the Dodge Charger. We understand 2 people were shot here in Hillsborough, and you can clearly see more than 1 window shot out by obvious gunfire. Again, this is happening as we're coming to you live. The tow truck just went by us and we captured that video. You can clearly see that a gun was involved. And we understand, going back to Zakira, that she was one of 2 victims found dead inside that car. Actually, we could see, sadly, her body outside the vehicle from Sky 5 earlier this afternoon. She was 16, a sophomore at a nearby high school, a basketball star who had just been recruited to a charter school in the area. She had a curfew of 11 o'clock last night, had gone to get some fast food, something to eat with some friends, and never returned home. The swoosh of this net is what spawned their bond.
We would come out here almost all the time, play basketball on this hoop right here. This is where we grew up at. This is where we played ball at. This is where we did everything at.
Sophia Hart woke up to the most horrible news about her best friend.
My mama like, Zai gone, Zai gone. I dropped down to the floor, I start crying.
Zykira Wardlow, just 16, was found dead here 1 street over from where she lives, according to her family. Police say 2 people were shot in a Dodge Charger. The other victim, 20-year-old D'Anthony Morgan of Lenoir County.
They found a gunshot victim, advising they heard shots around 8 or 9 a.m. possibly yesterday. They are advising that they believe the person is deceased beside a Charger that's still running.
Neighbors say they heard gunshots late last night, but had no idea Wardlow was shot and killed.
From my understanding, she had went to Bojangles out to eat last night around 9 or 10 o'clock, and she never showed up back at home, and she still haven't came home.
Wardlow's sister is in shock.
It hurts. I think it hurts everybody that, knowing that her body is, still out there.
For hours, police, investigators, and the medical examiner processed the scene on a dead-end road outside of the Holiday Inn Express, while family and friends of Wardlow sat in shock feet away.
I've been trying to, hold it together, but I can't. I can't. It's just so hard.
Deadly mystery in North Philadelphia, where Jocelyn Marshall and Terrell Sanders were found killed inside a home 2 weeks ago. And tonight the search continues for their killer. Our Steve Keeley spoke to Marshall's devastated family.
It's a horrible feeling. I can't even explain it, man. I can't even explain it.
The feeling of finding your sister shot and killed.
Jocelyn she was a shining star, man. She was good.
We're just hoping and praying that we'll hear answers soon.
2 weeks ago today, Jocelyn Marshall's family got the answer they didn't want.
I don't know how many times I called her that day.
That day was December 19th, when her brother Walter knew in his heart something was wrong. Terribly wrong.
She not gonna leave her son just hanging at school. You feel me? So that's how I knew, something ain't right.
Jocelyn was a long-time and loyal employee of Tastykake. Never one to ever miss work, and not even call to let them know.
Once HR started reaching out, it was like something's really wrong. And thank God she had a job who cares about the employees.
What went through your mind when you heard from Tastykake that she hadn't shown up at work?
Where is she? It's not her norm. So where is she? Even for her not to pick up her son. Where is she?
For her to be totally unreachable is rare. So we kind of knew something was wrong.
Her brother Walter went to Jocelyn's boyfriend of 1 year's home on Diamond Street here and got in and found both of them and called police. Both had been shot multiple times and killed in the second-floor apartment. Jocelyn's family told police she had no trouble with anyone and feel her boyfriend, 39-year-old Terrell Sanders, must have been the target. But Jocelyn also happened to be there, too.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
I really understand that when people say, I lost a part of me. I really understand. I feel it now. I know what that feels like.
With her funeral Saturday, her family hopes their pain appeals to someone watching who knows something.
If you know something, say something, call them. That's the only way we can really get better as a community anyway. And if you don't say nothing, these people still out here lurking, whoever it was, whoever did it. But, you don't say anything when you know something, it can happen again.
In West Philadelphia, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
A 26-year-old woman is in the hospital this morning after being shot in the leg while driving. She then flipped her vehicle. It happened on the 3000 block of West Upsall Street in West Mount Airy around 11:30 last night. Investigators telling us the victim was shot by her ex-boyfriend, who was driving a separate vehicle. While trying to get away, the woman drove in a parked car, flipped her vehicle. Police explaining the moments leading up to all the violence.
About 3.5 hours earlier, we're at a domestic disturbance call in one of the properties along the block, in the 300 block of Upsall, involving this female and the male shooter. So it appears they were involved in a domestic dispute earlier, and just 3.5 hours later, it escalated to this shooting.
Once again, the victim is in stable condition. Police are still searching for the ex-boyfriend.
New video of the shooting in the Bronx that left 6 people hurt, including a 12-year-old girl. Police are actively hunting for 2 gunmen who opened fire, and Alan Devlin spoke to those close to one of the victims who was used as a shield to block the bullets.
A barrage of bullets pierced this convenience store right here behind me in the Bronx. In total, 6 people were shot, including a 12-year-old girl and her mother that was used as a human shield.
There was a lot of commotion, a lot of yelling, yes. And even folks outside were like screaming due to what they were seeing.
It was calm and then chaos after the sound of gunfire burst into the air at this busy intersection on White Plains Road in the Bronx. This new video obtained by CBS News shows people sprinting for cover. This man tripped over this T-Mobile sign, others ducking into Carlos Collato's store next door.
Then when I saw the running, people turning onto 12 here, coming this way.
In total, NYPD says 6 people were shot after 2 gunmen began shooting at a group of men who ran for cover inside this G&W convenience store. It was a dire situation. Jorge Suero says he knows the mother-daughter duo and raced next door as soon as he heard the gunfire to help. She was yelling that she had been shot. I placed her on the stretcher and yelled for them to bring another one. Here in the 40, the NYPD is still searching for the shooters who remain at large as a neighborhood remains shaken.
And it was such an unfortunate event that one of them runs in and takes the mother as a shield. That's terrible.
In the Bronx, Alan Devlin, CBS News, New York.
A Bronx family tonight mourning the death of a father who was fatally stabbed Thursday while ordering a deli sandwich. Loved ones say that it happened while he was on the job as a mail carrier. And they say that he took that job to get out of poverty, never thinking this would happen. John Diaz spoke with family members.
A makeshift memorial continues to grow outside the home of 36-year-old Ray Hodge with his United States Postal Service hat in the middle. Loved ones lighting candles and hanging photos of the Bronx man who was a father of 2.
It's just messed up that the family got to go through this.
This man says he grew up with Hodge.
He was trying to just make some money. You know, that's it. Just getting up, doing what he got to do to provide for his kids.
Hodge's brother echoing that in a statement, saying, quote, he was an honorable and respectful man who took care of his family. Police say while on the job as a mail carrier, Hodge was fatally stabbed Thursday when he was ordering a sandwich at a deli in Harlem.
Why? Like, senseless.
They took one of the good ones from us and all that.
Police say 24-year-old Jaya Cruz has been arrested for the crime. Witnesses say she got angry and started to argue with Hodge over who was first in line to order. Deli workers say they saw the whole thing.
I separated them. The male guy in the front, the lady, she was in back. She's spilling him in his face.
Witnesses claim in an instant, Cruz pulled out a knife and fatally stabbed Hodge in the stomach. In a statement, a spokesperson for USPS said it, quote, takes matters involving the safety and well-being of Postal Service employees as a top priority. Officials say Hodge worked as a mail carrier since the summer of 2022, based out of the Morningside Annex on West 125th Street. Loved ones say Hodge was just trying to make a living.
To see him, go from one stage of life to the next to better himself was anything you could ask from a kid.
Cruz has been charged with murder. Police say that a weapon was recovered here at the scene. For now, reporting here from Harlem, John Diaz, CBS News, New York.
Now, workers say both the suspect and victim were regular customers who had no history of disputes in the past.
Welcome back. 1 adult, 5 teenagers arrested for allegedly assaulting 2 police officers in Anne Arundel County. It's happened during a traffic stop right on New Year's Day, and detectives continuing to investigate this case. Howard County Police showing us now how they chased down 2 teens accused of stealing a car last month. Casey Baylor on your corner in Glen Burnie with the details tonight.
It all started with a traffic stop near the Department of Motor Vehicles building on Ritchie Highway. Not even 12 hours into the new year, an officer stopped a black Mercedes for speeding. And from there, things quickly took a turn.
You observe this vehicle weaving in and out of traffic, driving faster than every other vehicle out there.
Anne Arundel County Police spokesperson Mark Lemansky says once stopped, another police officer arrived at the scene. They spoke to the driver, identified as 21-year-old Jermel Johnson Jr., to ask about a registration violation. Johnson Jr., along with 5 teens between the ages of 14 and 17, were charged and taken into custody. In Howard County, police are showing us how they tracked down 2 teenagers who were accused of stealing a Honda Civic by the mall in Columbia last month. Officials just released this police body camera footage showing an officer chasing down a teenager.
We're going eastbound.
Doors open.
Meanwhile, a drone captured the suspects running through a neighborhood off Cedar Lane.
Hey, police, get down!
Police arrested the teen.
Cole, I got it right here.
Charging them with motor vehicle theft. And back in Anne Arundel County, Lemansky says investigators are still working to understand the relationship between those suspects and what was their intention with using that gun. Reporting on your corner in Glen Burnie, I'm Casey Baylor for WJZ.
Ocean Hill are on high alert as police continue to look for a man wanted in connection to an attempted rape in the neighborhood. News 12's Karina Gary is at the intersection of Herkimer Street and Saratoga Avenue. Now, Karina, you've talked to neighbors. How are they feeling?
Yes, people are understandably on edge at this time as police continue their search for the suspect. And if you take a look here behind me, you'll see this taped up poster. It has a picture of the suspect. There are posters throughout the neighborhood just like this one. Police tell News 12 a 22-year-old woman was walking here along Herkimer Street and Saratoga Avenue when she was approached by the man you see here on your screen. They say he punched her multiple times in the face, pushed her to the ground, strangled her, and sexually assaulted her. The victim was taken to the hospital where she is said to be in stable condition at this time. Residents were just left shocked as they say they feel relatively safe walking around here even late at night.
It's just really disturbing that would happen because it's New York. People are out at all hours of the day and night. It's not like other cities where like things close at 9. It's really disconcerting that someone would do that. And so this person is obviously not well, and I hope that like she's doing okay in the hospital. But we're all just kind of being alert, letting people know what's going on.